Forged in the lockdown. Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the Unfathomable quiz. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find, and with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we have got with us...
If you're lucky.
if they don't refuse to answer them. Today we've got with us Jen. We've got with us Katie.
Hi.
We've got with us Brainbug.
What's up?
We've got the Barman.
Hello.
And we've got Jenny.
Good morning. No, good evening.
It's evening here, morning there, morning in the UK, and morning for you.
Good afternoon.
Morning for it's the afternoon in a minute.
Yeah.
We can get up. And we've got Sammy.
Oh, I love you, Sammy.
Love you too, Jen.
Why are you all you crazy people up on a Saturday morning?
It's not
Because I
woke me up.
committed to this. I agreed to do this ages ago.
Because we pay so well.
Wait, you get paid?
Yes.
And we're all here to see Katie because she's so popular and a goddess. So
You promised you wouldn't tell.
I agreed to pay her on the basis I could pay her as long as I could offset it for a century. So as long as
Fair
she turns
enough.
up to collect it. Right, would you like to do the first question?
please.
Okay.
Question 1392. To be tested on the earlier questions later. What one thing can instantly make your day better?
Alcohol.
A praying mantis on someone's microphone.
The destruction of all turf.
Wake and bake.
So I take Jenny and Katie's answers are both part of my morning routine right now. So
Anything.
Jen?
The destruction of all turfs. How's about that?
That seems like
make my day better.
that seems like a big ask for just to make a day better.
Oh, it does, but you never know. There are multiple cases of spontaneous inhuman combustion.
Yes, but a turf a day makes the hate go away.
You'd have to hope that one of them would realise it as it went down the line and change before it got there.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
I was just kidding.
Sammy?
I'd have to say I can't decide between weed or black metal music.
Yeah.
Why not both?
Well, it usually is, but I can only give one answer, so...
A magical joint that, as you smoked it, played the music.
There you go.
No,
The faster you smoke it, the faster the blast beats are.
a joint doom metal, right?
See, I'm fairly certain
Yeah.
that's doable with a pipe.
Something that makes noise when you suck it. What?
You met my boyfriend.
Jenny, I'm trying to behave tonight.
Why?
Why?
Why? Yeah, why, Sammy?
I won't then.
Chat, what we've got? Nerdy, really good fart, lovely. Godless Scummer says, I'd settle for the destruction of Katie Hopkins.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one.
Dog says, a bacon
I
and egg
didn't know
toasted... Go on.
Sorry, go on. I was just
No,
going
you
to say she humiliates herself so often and so catastrophically. It would almost be sad, like that time when she made the newspaper write a correction because they said that she got arrested for ketamine, and then they were like, "Actually, sorry, we have to issue a correction. She wasn't arrested for ketamine. The ketamine incident took place after she was arrested for inciting racial hatred."
Oh,
So
wow, so
good.
she made it worse.
So, like, we wouldn't have that if she wasn't around.
This is the problem with
True.
Trump not being on Twitter. I absolutely love that he got banned, but I am missing shouting at him.
Yeah.
Michelle, one of his sons, said.
I have done. I started.
Was it you who shared the one last night going, and it was Trump Jr. saying, do you know what's really bad, Clinton group? Getting impeached. Someone
Oh, yeah.
copied it and put, this tweet really didn't age well, did it?
Jeff says.
I like the one he published yesterday. Was it about manned humans in space?
Oh yeah, I saw that one. He's like
Manned
he
humans?
sent a manned human into space.
Yeah, manned humans. Elon Musk has sent manned humans into space.
And he didn't just—it wasn't just like a slip because he said it twice in the same video. Like,
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he's not used to having humans around.
What does he
He's
know?
not used to
He would
articulating properly either.
surely he wouldn't say this unless we had manned non-humans in space.
well, we do have
Androids.
manned non-humans in space. We've got a space station. That's a manned non-human.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't be that logic, Dave.
No, it's just flawless.
Look, you're arguing with somebody who argues with the illogical every day.
This isn't fair. I've only been up for 10 minutes.
Jeff super chatted for £2. The answer is black metal, Sammy. I suggest Whatin. Don't you say that? Whatin?
Watain.
That almost sounds racist, though.
Well, that's Watain like to stand near the line sometimes on certain issues, I think. But they're a good band.
Okay, well, I like Cradle of Filth, and he sings about fucking dead people, so,
Oh.
you know.
There's a line, and you know. Right,
There's a line.
go on.
Oh, sorry. I had a really weird thing with Cradle of Filth. Sorry, I'm really deflecting and distracting everyone.
That's okay.
One
That's
time
pretty
I
much
was
the
like-
entire show.
Oh, okay, amazing.
Yeah,
One time
nice.
I was cycling along with my family, and there was just like 5 of us cycling on our bikes. And this guy pulled up in a car next to me and wound his window down, so I was going to shout something. And he's like, "Oi, you!" And I was like, and he's like, "Do you like Cradle of Filth?" And I was like, I guess. And while he was driving, he handed me these CDs while I was cycling along, and it's like, "I've grown out of them," and just drove off. And I was like, and my parents are like, "What just happened?" I was like, "Some random man just gave me 5 Cradle of Filth CDs." So that was my introduction to them.
Was it Cradle of Filth CDs? Because sometimes I'll go when I go to a concert. There's people outside the concert and they're like, "Hey, do you like this band?" And I'm like, "Sure." And they're like, "Here," and they give me a CD, and it's not that band. It's their
Oh no,
band.
it was just their first 5 albums.
Yeah. Oh, was
Just
it?
gave them to
wow.
a random person cycling.
Bonus.
Do you like Cradle of Filth and they hand you Dolly Parton?
Well, I think it's people trying to plug their own
Islands
music
in
when
the
they do
stream.
that.
What? Apparently, Kevin Sorbo is filling the Trump void on Twitter.
He
Oh,
really
Kevin
is.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
Except he's allowed to block you a lot quicker than Trump is.
I've never
Trump
seen
know
his
how
videos
to block
dance.
people?
He did
He
block
did
people, and then he
initially.
got told he wasn't allowed
Wow.
to, and he had to unblock them all, didn't he? Or
I'm
something?
sad about Kevin Zorber. I grew up with he was like Hercules. It was like cool, he's Hercules, and all this, and then he, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, but watching Lucy Lawless beat the shit out of him was good the other day.
Ooh,
yes.
Hercules is a
watched-
Nazi.
I watched God is Dead or whatever with Dark Matter a couple of weeks back, and it was yeah. Kevin Zorber.
What is the question again?
I've forgotten. What
Do
can
you
make
like
your day
Kevin
brighter?
Zorber?
I'm sorry, what? Say again?
Have we all answered this one? Apart from
No,
I
Dave?
think so.
No, I haven't answered.
What's
Yeah,
your
what's
answer,
on the
Jenny?
first question?
What's your answer, Jenny?
I am asking for the question.
Oh, what one thing can instantly make your day better?
Oh, yes, of course. This is so simple. The sweet, sweet smile of my wife.
Aw.
Aw.
Everyone else
Who's
has
your
silly
wife?
answers. And there's a
Wait, there's a problem here. Who's your wife?
Did I say wife? I meant vibrator.
Why are you sniffing your vibrator?
I think she said smile, not
She said
smell.
smile. What did you hear?
But you know,
I heard smell.
Look, we live in a world where we have little baby deer that talk, lions that hold their cubs up to cheering animals that would rather eat them. I can have a vibrator that smiles.
Fair enough.
Depends.
Yeah.
Do you put googly eyes on it as well to give it the full face?
Damn, everything.
The problem with that is it looks
Like
back.
camera in your house.
I'm not convinced I want my vibrators looking back at me.
Makes it more personal.
They know what I do with you.
afterwards, though, then Dave, and you can talk to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dave, you're in the movie of your life, your vibrator would be your conscience, like Jiminy Cricket.
And it also occasionally deflate.
It would follow you everywhere and give you advice.
Fair enough. Frank
float above your shoulder.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
He's got a white one and a red one, and they're on each shoulder.
Yes, she's great. Vibrate. No, that's a guy. Stop it.
Did Dave answer the question?
Not yet. Nathaniel Waters says, "Love you, folks. Thanks for the great content. $15 super chat. Thank you very much,
Guys. You got to keep in mind that where he is too, it's like 3:30 in the morning, 3:45 in the morning.
I know. I can't believe he's here. He said
up, Nathaniel?
categorically yesterday he wasn't coming. Wildheart says
he wasn't excited enough.
Wildheart said watching Critical
Obviously, he
Cripple
showed
Course.
up for the praying mantis.
He did.
That's what everybody's here for.
Godless Scammer says, I found out today that listening to Hellhammer first thing in the morning works very well also. That's nice. See, I have to go the other way, which would be 90s techno. So I'm one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Really? I didn't know that you...
I'm wearing a 9-inch Neil shirt. Is that close?
I've got my municipal waste hat to hand.
I'm the only non-metal person here, right?
No, I'm not very keen on metal.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind metal.
I
prefer normal rock, though.
Guns N' Roses is about as metal as I get. Not.
I like Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses, Queen, Genesis, Pink Floyd, all that sort of stuff.
See, I don't consider any of them metal. So I like all of them.
I know it's not metal. I said I'm just highlighting some of the bands I like.
Fair enough.
The bizarre thing is, I actually don't like metal. I literally only like two bands, Metallica and Cradle of Filth.
Poser.
Yeah, absolutely. But I fucking love them. Like, all my clothes are Metallica or Cradle
Is
of Filth.
Metallica still metal?
Yeah, they kind of gone back to metal in the last two albums.
So they kind of went mainstream rock there through the early 2000s, but
like 2008, I think was Death Magnetic, and they tried to go back to their like thrashier sound, and it was decent. Like it wasn't as good as classic Metallica. But
They can still rock for their age.
Well, so can the Stones.
well, Megadeth never went like mainstream rock.
yeah, they
so-
did. They did the worst. They released an album called
one?
Risk, which was like they had several. They had Cryptic Writings is when it first started demetaling, and they had Euthanasia, and then they had Risk, and they had The World Needs a Hero, and all of those. Well, actually, Cryptic Writings is amazing, but Risk and The World Needs a Hero are awful, and Risk is like a proper like radio rock album. I really don't recommend it at all, and it's the reason you've never heard of it is because it is so bad. It's worse than Load and Reload. So,
No.
Is that possible?
Katie knows her music.
hey, don't start me on the history of Metallica and Megadeth and stuff. We'll be here all day. Sorry, next question.
This is where Jeff's now saying Megadeth went very mainstream. See, I can't forgive Metallica for what they did to Napster.
What did they? Oh, that's right. They were the dirty rats.
They were.
Well, yeah, Lars Ulrich.
And then LimeWire, and then Bear Share. They just went after them all. Every time I switched to one.
Shh, don't end up. We're on a stream.
I was underage back then. I'm good.
Oh, that makes it all
like
better.
I did like Twisted Sister's Christmas album. Does that help?
I've seen Twisted Sister live twice.
Nice.
Cool.
They didn't play any Christmas songs though.
No, it
Rage-
was a good album.
It's a good album. Rage says, metal is too white for me. I need beats and death.
Beats and death, and
Yeah.
with not white people. I like come to me on Twitter afterwards, and I can give you things that fit that criteria that's still metal. There's a deathcore band called Oceano, whose frontman is a African American, I think. I think they're an American band, and they're really, really heavy, and there's lots of beats. I don't know what you class by beats, but there's beat downs and there's like blast beats.
Oh, wow.
Very death. It's good.
Godless says, I've seen Napalm Death a couple of times. Who the hell are Napalm Death?
Napalm Death like invented grindcore. They're from Birmingham, and they released. They're like from like 1989 or something. Proper good band. Strong recommend.
How do you not know about them, Dave? They've been
Very
Birmingham.
anti-fascist.
I've been in Birmingham. Birmingham is basically a million miles away from me.
I know. Just giving you shit.
Ant Jer says lounge music for the win. And Hans says heavy metal like aha. Right, yeah, let's do the next question.
Yeah.
Right, question 1393. What colour is regret?
Purple.
Interesting. Anyone else?
That's a
Blue.
Like semi-translucent. Like it's more like 3D purple, where like the air's purple rather than a purple wall.
Purple haze?
Yeah, I guess so. But haze is different because haze is like it feels like there's like smoke in the air, but this is more like you're in a computer game and they've just chosen that the air is going to be purple.
Purple haze is rarely a regret.
Lovable Rogue says brown. Ant Jer says brown. Nerdy says what sort of regret? I don't
Lime
know.
green.
Lime green.
No.
The problem is green is everything to do with jealousy.
Yeah, I know, but lime green green in particular because of a memory I have.
And guitar's like, oh, you can't see it.
I keep doing that.
That's awesome, though.
I got my fidget thing I keep
playing
holding
guitar.
up for people. It's all green on everything on it's green.
It's a memory as a teenager getting wildly drunk on lime cordial that was mixed with alcoholic essence, and when we all vomited later from being wildly ill, it came back a mixture of lime green and fluorescent green.
Oh, that could be kind of a
So
topic.
that's why regret is the color of lime green.
Crafty says, if purple is regret, it explains why it's my favourite colour. Seraphim says olive green. Rage says Trump orange.
Oh, that wins. It wins.
And I think Rage wins. Good on you, Knock.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yellow in front-
I go with blue. I think
blue.
it goes right along with being sad about something. So maybe more of a steely blue, like a morning sky.
Interesting. Nerdy says, the regret for buying a drink with sucralose is a very different colour to the regret from dating the wrong person. But do they both have it? Well, what colour do they each have? You could have told us. Dawn Arphead says, yellow in the front, brown in the back. Wild Heart says ginger.
Oh! Just on our head. Oh, wow.
I didn't get that. I was reading it. Jeff says, what colour is Brexit? It's red, white and blue, apparently.
Blue.
Nathaniel says, a brownish gold. I can't see gold as being regret.
No, it's
Seems like Brown's a winner for the live chat.
It does.
Everything's
Yeah.
Brown. I think that's because I think about pooping your
a
pants.
really, really deep mauve, almost brown.
Wild Heart said mauve. Dog says, I'm on a vegetable-only diet, so I'm saying green. Vegetables only give you the shits.
Couldn't spell M.
Oh, I can't read it, so... right, next question then. I think there was somewhere between green and
I get to answer first.
You have to be. You get to answer first. Did you answer this one?
No.
Well, answer this one.
Okay, I will.
You're not forceful enough.
Remember the question?
Yes, this time I do. The color of regret is black, but some of my deepest regret has been brown.
Why is it black?
Black's not a color.
Oh!
Are we talking pigment or light?
I don't think brown makes a
Still not a
difference.
Black's not either a color.
You know, brown's not a color either.
No, it's
brown is
orange.
actually just it's
Well,
dark.
it certainly
Yeah,
is.
brown's not a color. It's an interpretation in our brain. It's not actually a wavelength.
No.
So,
Well, it's basically orange.
It's just dark orange for the most part. Like, you think about what dark red looks like, what dark yellow looks like, and then dark orange fits right in between there if it's your standard brown.
No one told me I was going to have to reevaluate my life being on this show.
I can't believe Dave's letting me teach science on here.
I know. You're not allowed to be educational.
says
Well,
who?
Katie started
Oh, you.
it.
That's the rules for the show. Yeah, to be fair, the problem is I didn't have any clue what she was talking about because she was talking about music. So I've no idea if she was being educational or not.
No, I was talking about just now. She started with the black not being a color, and it's like, well, yeah, let's dig into that a little bit. What is a color?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sticking with black and sometimes brown. That's
Why black?
Dark orange and no color. Just say that.
why
Those are
black.
your answers, Jim.
Because black is the color of the deepest abyss.
You've got to jump into it to regret it, though.
Deep, man.
Don't you usually regret things you jump into? I do. Lots of times.
Depends what they are.
And lots and
Yeah, I've
oh,
jumped into this and I'm regretting this already.
It's like Nikki says, educational. Wait, this is critical questions. It's supposed to be cancer, not intelligent. Yeah, very much so. Then orange. I think it's between orange, brown, and green for some reason. I'm still not convinced by the green.
No, green's too fresh and like foresty and nice.
Not when it's coming out of you at a...
if you got
Yeah.
green coming out of you, you got more than regret to worry about.
Not wrong. Right, next question.
Have you ever thought about writing fortune cookies, Jenny?
Don't never take my
I would buy them.
Oh, this is going to go.
You would buy them.
Absolutely.
What did Jeff just put in the?
I don't know. I'm translating it. He's evil and hates me.
Hurry up! We need to know what he's saying.
He says, Jeff says, thank you very much for your super chat, Jeff. £2. Says, forbid Google search for translations of this super chat. Jeff is an ass. Right,
What
next
language is that? Is that like Korean or Chinese or?
Chinese.
Ah.
Green is regret when you buy bad weed. It is. And then Dawn Uphead says, no one say anything, but I think Katie has crabs. We had a long discussion about Katie's crabs before the show.
Yeah.
They're all fleeing off into the background.
Ew.
Have you seen what Brainbug's got?
It's so cute.
It's green and it's adorable. So green is
Kermit!
the color.
No, Kermit's a frog. Kermit would eat that.
Or it might eat Kermit, depending on how big he is.
Yeah, depending on the size of the frog. Because there's some pretty small frogs out there.
Yeah, there you just find lots of pictures of mantises eating frogs and lizards and stuff. Ambush predators. Right now,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you saw when I first put him on here, he was engaging with me because he knew I knew where he was. Right now, he thinks that I can't see him. So he's being like super still. He's like, if I stays completely still, he can't see me because everything in their natural environment and all their instincts tell them that this kind of stuff is branches and that's where they're supposed to hide at. So it doesn't even realize I can't see it, that I can see it. Or
They can't see in color.
They can see in color.
Or they're
yeah.
just too stupid to
They have.
understand.
They have. Well, they're. It's just their instinct to freeze and stay still.
Yeah.
if I started poking at it, I didn't realize I knew it was there. But yeah, they have actually great vision. They have 3 eyes. Yeah, there's one right there at the top in the middle. I'm teaching science again, and Dave doesn't know.
I was going to say, like, because wasps and bees actually have 5 eyes, don't they? Because they've got their big compound eyes and the 3 in the top. So do they just have 1 on the top rather than?
Yeah,
3?
that's the same thing they've got. I've tried to simplify it. Sorry, yeah, there's more. There's like a little cluster of eyes up there. They can't see. Those ones can't see color, though. They see different wavelengths of light. Like maybe like 2 or 3 wavelengths of light. So just blue and yellow, but just to pick up motion and shadow.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Do flies have more than 2 eyes?
I don't know.
I think they may have the pineal eye, like what mantises and beets have. I don't know how developed it is on a fly. I haven't ever looked into it.
I just wonder because they're so good at taking off at the last moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think of those huge compound eyes, like same thing like dragonflies have that allow them to look in so many directions. Like to say that they're individual eyes is kind of misnomer because it's like a cluster of thousands of eyes all looking in different directions. So that's why flies are so good at when you swat at them.
Those things taste great.
And that's why dragonflies are the most successful predators in the animal kingdom because they're those eyes that they have. Their success rate is like 87% or something. It's like astronomical for the animal kingdom.
I was happened to catch a dragonfly in the swamp I was hanging out in. I was taking pictures of birds, honest, and
this is hilarious already.
Oh, kitty!
And this dragonfly comes into my point of view. I can't see anything other than the dragonfly, but the thing does this incredible loop, and then a kind of a twist, and it grabs some big ass bug out of the air that I never even saw until it was still. It was just beautiful.
They're impressive hunters, dragonflies. It was very impressive.
I was very glad they weren't 6 feet long anymore.
But they would have been cool.
They are in Australia.
Everything is evil in Australia. Apart from Jen.
What's her name, Katie?
Oh, no, I'm evil.
This is She's lovely.
Yeah,
Aww.
Yes.
Assuming it's a her because it's a calico, but
Yeah. Oh, he's bringing it back to science. Poppy is actually the example in the she's sitting on my headphones. She's the example in Bristol University's biology department of like how chromosomes work because she's a calico and she gets like put up every year. So a calico is where she's got white and then also ginger and black, and it's the thing that pretty much only animals with XX have because it's to do with how one of their chromosomes I think is just picks white fur color maybe, or it picks white and black, and then the other one picks ginger. And usually in animals, one side of your chromosomes picks all of your hair colors. So your X chromosome picks all of them. But in cats, they can sometimes have this situation where in one place, one chromosome's active, and the other place, another chromosome's active. So their fur patterns is actually just literally totally random based on which chromosome's active. And it's like an interesting study in chromosomes.
But what? Oh, okay. That's like when a dimorphic animal insect is one color on one side. The other
that's a bilateral gynandromorph.
Okay.
Yeah, they could actually be. That's an indication that they may be hermaphroditic too. When they got the dichromium, one side of the animal can be female, and the other side can be male. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mosaic humans have the same thing where you have different sections of your skin that can actually be different colors because of your mosaics. Because I have that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I've got patches of skin on my body that are slightly different color to the others.
Wow.
So,
Do you have stripes?
It's not just dirt.
I do not have stripes. I know that does happen as well,
Things we've all
but usually they're not easy to see.
So you're a cat.
Pussy galore, they call me. Oh dear.
I get the
I thought
UV
they
light
called
out.
you
says
that
Dawn
because
Ped.
you were so popular.
Right, next question, I think. Otherwise people might learn something, and that's not going to happen on this show.
I think they already have.
No,
You've
they
lost
haven't.
it this one, Dave.
I know, I think I have. Right, question 1394. You've been turned into an inanimate, non-electronic object. To be changed back into a human, you need to be touched by 100 different people. What inanimate object would you choose?
Non-electronic.
Yeah.
A non-electronic.
That's easy.
Toilet handle in a subway station or
I
something.
would say a doorknob, but
Oh,
but
turnstile in a shopping centre.
A roll of toilet paper.
A roll of
You've got to
toilet
hope you'll last 100 people
Yeah.
then, though.
It's
Yeah.
turns.
People don't use the same. Nobody says a toilet. See, the problem is at the moment, lots of people aren't touching things.
everybody touches the door handle to the gas station or the grocery store.
And then there's some people
Why can't
who
you just
never,
be the door?
never
I
flush
mean, they're going to have
regardless.
to touch the door to open it, unless
I
it's
wanna
an
be the
automatic
knob.
door.
Jen, I just want to be the knob.
You want to be a knob.
You
Then
like,
he
Here's a
says-
secret for you, Brian. You already are.
you like it when people grab and twist? Is that it?
Never Again says, I'm shit out of luck then. Nerdy says a toilet. Aunt Jer says a light switch. Doorknob Head says he's ready to be touched. Godless Scummer says hand sanitizer. Nikki
Is
says
that
shopping
one
cart.
object, though? Like, where does it start? It's a liquid, so it's like,
Well, that's supposed to be the hand sanitizer bottle.
okay.
Yeah, but do you get 100 squirts out of them? It'd have to be a big bottle.
That's a very good point. You got the same problem with the loo roll.
Yeah.
No, you probably wouldn't.
Depends if people refill the bottle.
It does.
If you're
You could be the oh, I've just completely gone out of my head what they're called. The dispenser in the entrance of a hospital.
But they're not normally touched. It's like the most ones we have are automatic. You put your hand underneath it and they just squirt out automatically.
I have never seen an automatic one.
An automatic
Have
one.
you? Oh,
The
wow.
automatic one's not allowed by the nature of the question. Non-electric.
That's very true.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yes, we can't have automatic ones.
I would. Oh yeah. Okay.
you
Say
might
again,
be able to.
Sammy? Oh, God.
You have to be knobs like the rest of us.
no, never, ever, ever again.
Katie.
Hmm?
What were you going to say?
Oh, I don't know.
Sammy?
A handrail.
Where?
Oh, you
Yeah,
meant
but
the
you're gonna-
Oh, I already
have you ever-
answered.
Have you ever touched a public handrail? Don't.
Mhm.
Oh, I made that mistake at Boston subway, and the people I was with just said, "Don't touch that."
For one,
That's the
fork in a
point.
restaurant.
For them
Yeah.
to be that disgusting, enough people have to have touched them.
That's the problem, isn't it? The more disgusting thing you can think of, the more likely it is that lots of people have touched it.
A $2 coin that has been erudited to the footpath.
That's quite good. I quite like that.
Yeah, but that's a hell of
Of
a place
course,
to
after I
spend your
turn
life.
back, I've got a problem because I'm still erudited to the footpath.
Yeah, the last person just touches you and you're something like,
Help me out! What the?
Do they have to touch you with their skin?
Yes.
Oh.
So, just be walking barefoot, I guess.
No,
Okay,
because
so-
people see
No,
it and
people
reach down
bend
and-
down.
Oh, people trying to pick it up. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why
So,
you've got to be
okay,
erudited.
So touched skin, condom is just not the right word, is it? Answer.
Again, you don't really reuse them.
what?
I
That
hope.
should just be beautiful.
You can rinse them out, Dave. I'm sure you can rinse them out.
I could when I was thinking I could think of no sexual answer to this question.
My ex-wife. There you go.
Oh, okay, that's the challenge.
Is your ex-wife inanimate?
Non-electronic.
Love mat at an orgy. Oil mat.
Well, as long as people wash in between, I suppose you could be a static dildo.
A glory
But
hole.
they don't.
Sorry. Oh!
There we go.
Problem is, when the last person comes and touches you and you turn back.
Yes, and more precisely, where will they be in you?
That's terrible. Right, Adja, a set of keys, spooky, £5 note, nerdy, £5 note. Nathaniel says the answer is a volcano. Got to be touched, but also destroy all the humans I don't like before I'm changed back. We work under the assumption people are going to get thrown into you.
Also, if a volcano suddenly disappeared, that'd be quite like, because you could pick like the Earth, couldn't you? But then all of a sudden it would disappear. It'd be like a huge hole in the landscape.
That'd be weird.
How about an American riot police baton?
Oh,
Okay, that was over the top. Sorry.
Never Again says, I'm sure every person who rented me fell on their ass because there's a demdemic going on, or pandemic going on. Rented me? Well, rented what? Oh, ski slopes.
Is he?
There we go.
Is he saying he's a rent boy?
That's right. Sandy for
They're not
starters.
inanimate.
And she's talking about the rental skis on the ski slope.
Rental
I missed the
skis.
line before.
Oh, it was never. Oh,
yeah.
she.
Yes. Rain. The problem is no particular drop of rain is going to touch that.
Well, eventually you could pick a single water molecule and it's probably
You could,
people.
but it would still take hundreds of years, I think. Probably.
It might
So,
be.
but the separate
You pick a
molecules
water
don't actually
molecule.
touch. They don't actually touch. There's always space between them.
Mm.
It's the
Yeah,
loneliest
have you ever
existence
touched
there is.
anything?
I was going to say, you're going to get into that then. You can't touch anything.
Nothing can touch anything, Jenny, if you're going to do that.
Okay.
Well, she was bringing it down to the molecular level. I think is what Jenny was saying. And you get down to that small.
You have to share electrons with it. You have to get close enough that your electrons interact with it.
But maybe all
You have to
electrons
get close enough that your electrons get all sexy.
But if nothing ever touches anything else, then we're just basically organic proximity sensors.
Yes, very much so.
Even our own
That's not-
cells don't touch each other because
That's
no
not terribly
two
romantic.
cells ever actually touch.
Wasn't that the concern about when they're building the space shuttle that was and Jen, you'll probably know the answer, that they had to code it in a certain way because the electrons and the metal would fuse together in two different pieces of metal, so the doors and stuff wouldn't open.
Oh yeah, no,
but
you're talking about cold welding, which happens in space. On Earth, everything is covered in shit that stops things just sticking together. But everything most things will just stick to something else if you put it next to it with a force that's too strong. And they've had it happen. They've had you put a spanner down on in space on the side of the thing. If it's not coated, it just sticks. And you got to...
If you make things smooth enough and clean enough, it happens here though.
Yes, it does.
What are those engineering tools that they use? That
Gauge blocks. If you take gauge blocks,
thank you, Jang. I knew you know.
Very precise
Did you,
lengths of
wait,
of steel.
did you guys witness that? This is going to be a clip because I just made Dave teach science on his show.
I know nothing about anything ever.
Gauge blocks
Should
are
have started my show early.
these strips of steel of known length for measuring and as a gauge against your work or for setting up equipment, and they are highly polished and dead nuts accurate, flat, just amazingly well made. And if you take two of them and you put them together end to end tightly by pushing, you can then pick them up as one piece.
Yeah, they share electrons at the border, and they just hold each other together.
It's pretty amazing.
Okay, I'm saying they share electrons. It's not 100% proven that that's exactly how it works.
Sure
It's one of those things we're not 100% sure about why
That's
it
how
works.
it looks, though, from everything that we can see.
It's how they think it works.
It absolutely works.
Oh, it definitely works.
No, it works. We don't know why.
Yeah. But the current theory is that they share electrons at the border because they're so close together, and that's what makes them.
I think it's just more proof that everything sucks. But that's just me.
Right.
There is no gravity. The Earth just sucks.
we have to bring this back to good smut. Jeff says, you said you couldn't think of any sexual, but a blow-up doll never occurred to you. You wouldn't share a blow-up doll. Who shares a blow-up doll?
Obviously, Jeff does.
99 others.
99 others. You think there's a rental market?
Rent a doll.
Okay, I have a good a rental seat from a rental bicycle.
Some of those new ones, the ones that are out, yes. I don't know
but
why
you're always wearing
seat.
clothes. No one sits on a bike seat with a bare bum, do they?
That's very. It had to be the handlebars. It had to be the handle grips.
Well, probably not one they rent anyway.
I'm also intrigued as to why Jenny went to the seat rather than the handlebars.
She wants people to sit on her face. 100 people.
She's looking forward to. She's looking forward to when she converts back.
You're telling me that my hobby of sniffing bicycle seats is weird? Is that it?
No.
You're welcome to your kink.
Thank you.
We don't kink shame here.
They call that hoondogging.
Oh dear.
Right, I think we've killed that question. Let's do another one. Right.
Do you know the worst part for myself, Katie and Jenny, is that some turf's going to go and watch this and cut bits out of this and go, look at what these things are saying.
No, I'm safe. I told you, turfs never bother me. They ignore everything I say. They don't follow me. They don't do nothing.
For now,
So I'm with you. They're apparently going to be repelled.
Okay, well, you're the safety net then, Jenny.
Maybe. The better. Well, never been. We'll go beyond that.
You should seek them out and beat them up. Right. On Twitter. Question 1395. If the sun was not going to come up tomorrow unless you threw a member of your family into a volcano, which member of your family would you throw into the volcano?
Dad.
Finish the question. Or would you not throw anyone in and doom your hemisphere to icy death?
Oh, any of the hemisphere, so we could just all go on holiday to the other side and it'd be fine.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But everyone that didn't would freeze very quickly. And I'm not convinced the other side wouldn't burn.
Well, I'd say, well, do they have to be a blood relation, or can they be related by marriage?
Oh, I think that's a bit of a cop-out if I let that. No.
And another clarification.
Well, if I'm talking about somebody who's actually married to my sister, is that fine?
If it's married people, it has to be.
Yes, he's currently married to my sister.
No, you have to. No, you
So
can't.
my
have
brother-in-law.
that. It's got to be blood relation, I think.
Oh, God, I don't know. My uncle, because he's a creep, he lives in Thailand and is an ass.
That works. Go on, Sammy. What was your clarification?
Can it be your entire family?
It could be more than one person, sure.
Okay, so my two brothers, one of my sisters, my brother-in-law. I could go on.
Have we got long enough?
We got long enough. Barman.
No, we don't.
I'll be nice and say my gran, because she's old, and when we go and visit her, she doesn't remember who I am anyway, so she wouldn't care.
Fair enough.
She might. She might go, oh, it's rather hot here.
Yeah, but she forget afterwards. Why is it hot?
Look, I'll give you one of mine. You can have one of mine.
You can have...
That's right.
I hadn't thought of grandparents.
Are they alive is the problem.
At this moment, no.
Dig them up.
You can dig them
Yeah,
up.
I was choosing somebody who, as far as I know, is still alive.
Aunt Jer says, my dad. The Rage says, could it be all of the Trumpers? Only if you are unfortunate enough to be related to them.
Well, if we all pretend we're religious, we're all related to each other in some way.
To be fair, we don't need to pretend we're religious.
The ark and everything like that.
Well, Don always made us call him Daddy, so.
By that logic, we're all children of God. Can we just throw our parent in?
If we're all children of God, I'm throwing God in.
Yeah, throwing God into a
exactly.
volcano sounds really cool, doesn't it? That sounds like
It does. Although it also sounds very Scientology.
yeah, that's
So
true.
bland.
Throw evil Lord Zeno into the volcano.
Yeah.
We just saved that for the season finale, though. I think.
Oh, okay.
Toss in Tom Cruise.
Why is he chasing your hand?
Toss off Tom Cruise.
Sure.
What? Oh, off the volcano. Sorry.
Yeah, once your
Mine
penis-
went somewhere else.
Why? What did you think I meant about Tom Cruise?
It's so adorable.
Oh no, he's.
Mantises are so interactive.
I know, right? Everybody's all about jumping spiders, but mantises do it too.
Yeah.
Yes, you see, but the jumping spiders need to die. The mantises don't.
No.
Oh, spiders are cute too.
No, spiders are evil. All spiders need to die. Full stop.
Jumping spiders are
That's lovely.
cuter than you, Dave.
Dawn Uphead says, Icy Hemisphere 2 hero that fixes global warming. It might fix global warming on one side of the planet, not the other. Atheist Ed says, my racist QAnon believer stepmom.
Gosh.
Chad says, go on. Yeah, someone said something, I didn't see who.
I like Jeff's. The Bible would have been more interesting if Jesus had been thrown into a volcano.
There's Santi.
The Christian imagery would certainly be different. Instead of the cross, we'd have like a little volcano.
It'd be more impressive coming back too.
It would.
It would also make Lord of the Rings blasphemy.
Oh wow!
So I'm just waiting for the day if Jesus ever does come back and goes into a church, he's going to get traumatized. It's like, what the fuck? Why are you guys putting crosses anywhere? What about my story makes you think I like crosses? He's just in a corner looking, it's another cross.
Do you think that any
Every day, somewhere in the world, an artisan is nailing a Jesus to the cross.
Do you think that anybody that identifies as a Christian now would look at this 4'9" little brown man saying that he's Jesus and say, "Oh yeah, I believe you"?
Yeah, I saw there was a while ago on Twitter. It was trending because someone had said Trump was Jesus or something, some like pastor somewhere. And my favorite reply to it was, "Okay, if Trump's Jesus, let's nail him up, and then if he comes back in 3 days, I'll believe you."
That's a plan.
I'll go along with your little delusion.
No way.
If
Oh, we
that's a
lost
bit
Sammy.
much,
We lost
if that's a bit much for some people as well, you could always just sail out into the middle of the ocean and just throw him out and say, "There you go, you walk back now."
Yeah.
You see, this is reproducible science. It works. This is the stuff they need to do if they want to convince us. Say again?
If a week ago saying this stuff about Trump would have gotten you a call from the NSA, and this week it's okay.
This week it's okay. Never Again says, this is a loaded question. You know I wouldn't go near my family even to push them in a volcano. You get someone else to push them in. You don't have to do the pushing.
Yeah, you can pay somebody else to do it.
We could have a dominoes. You could push one person and they push the next one and they all go forwards all the way up the volcano. Oh, that's
cool.
Nathaniel says, also, the sentient volcano only needs 100 people to touch me so I can turn back into a real boy. So get to throwing people in, please. Can we throw Dave into the volcano for dissing spiders? No.
Yes, I'm up for that. Well, we can do a DNA test and see if we're related, and then maybe we'll get a chance.
It has to be an actual living relative now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You already answered.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, no, I couldn't because Dad's been dead a long time. I guess I would pick my cousin Tom, because he converted to a Mormon. So what's the point anyway?
Valid
Send him to
point.
heaven quicker.
Why don't we just send all the Mormons to Co-op? And we
To
build a
where?
big spaceship and we'll just send them.
Would it not be quicker just to throw them in a
Where?
volcano?
Probably, but it'd be more fun to launch them into space. And
But I want to go. If we're launching people into space, I want to go.
Well,
I don't
could
see
we
where we
just
launch
become
the
a Mormon?
arseholes into space.
yeah, but they won't be coming back.
I can live with that.
I just want to be launched high enough so that I burn up on re-entry. And some little kid will go,
Why?
"Mommy, look."
I mean, you can't
That's
really
fair.
complain if you don't. You'll hit the ground and not know. So
Well, that's
Not if-
true.
Not if
So
you
you
burn
probably
up.
be dead before you hit the ground if you were cooking on re-entry.
No, well dead. We'd be well done as well.
Or if not, some kid will walk along and say, "Oh, ooh, look what fell from the sky."
Pork. You know, that's what they call humans is long pork.
I've heard that.
I've heard that.
Yep.
Mormons, Rage says, Mormons have it right, you all. Magic underwear and flying Jesus that led a native war party. Like, how can you all deny the truth? Right, Jeff says, my cousin because he's a thieving piece of shit. Rainbug.
Yeah,
Valid.
I have a cousin who's like deep QAnon conspiracy type, and
No.
they like to visit the volcano with me.
Just tell them Trump's in there waiting for them.
Yeah,
Anybody I meet who happens to be a member of QAnon is going to get a pizza.
Piece of what?
A pizza.
what kind of
Why?
Because of Pizzagate.
Thank
Ah.
you, Katie.
Fair enough.
I was a bit slow then, sorry.
I know.
That's called Jenny's deep humor.
Good pizza. Rage is literally all my cousins.
And
are
I'm the
doing
one
pizza.
who's meant to be properly awake.
Yeah. Katie.
Oh, I said that I would pick the frozen hemisphere one because I think there's a lot of benefits to this because you can choose, because I really hate it when it's cold and shit. And whenever I talk to Australians, they're always whining about it being really nice and warm. So, but when
It is.
when there's like a fixed
Complaining
climate,
about it
you can
being
pick
nice and
your
warm.
position round because there's going to be a line where it's like twilight and it's like kind of a
Yep.
nice temperature for people who are fine with that. Some people like living in twilight and they can live there, or the vampire people, and I can go live right on the tip facing the sun, so it's like 5,000 degrees, and I'll be happy.
Yeah,
I think
but
everyone's a
everything in
winner, really.
Australia is trying to kill you.
Well,
And
yeah,
it's
but that
hot.
makes it more
Not
interesting.
everything. That's a
not nice and
fallacy,
warm.
Jenny.
All right, so we know that you're nice.
Name one
We
thing.
love to have Katie
Name
here.
one
She's
thing.
awesome.
As for the heat, Jen spent the entire weekend naked on streams last week because it was that
I
hot.
did.
Really?
I did. Yeah, I stripped off. You can't see anything. You can't see anything from here down anyway. So, yeah. If you go back and watch Dave's show from last Friday, yeah,
Friday,
and the
six-pack
couple of shows,
first.
and the
I see.
Purple Rhymes with Orange stream, then Friday night six pack, and then this show, I'm naked for all three.
Apart from the fact she
It
doesn't
was so
explain
hot.
it
It
at any
was
point
20
apart from on the
degrees
first
though.
one.
It was really hot.
Well, plus you make those Twitter videos.
Twitter videos. No, I've done quite a few of I've done a few naked videos now on my YouTube channel anyway. So
You've said
Well.
so.
get naked and
They're
talk
not
about
naked.
sex. Why not?
Right, next question. Question 1396. Given the ability to passively view any period in history, what would you spend your time watching?
The Carboniferous.
Yeah, sometime with giant insects. That'd be wicked.
Yeah.
But then, so if
Cleopatra is because I'm imagining hers mixing with the milk that she bathed. Oh, you didn't mean that sort of period.
okay.
God, I was
I was
going to go
wondering,
there.
like, what are the rules on this? Because, like, do other people know that you have this ability? Because you could pick, like, you know, when Jesus was around, and you could just say, "Look, mate, I'm watching it right now, and it's bullshit." But then, if no one's going to believe you anyway, then you might as well only pick something for your own enjoyment.
No one else will be able to know you're doing this.
Also, okay, so maybe the best time in history for me to pick to watch would be like next week, so I can just see what the lottery numbers are.
Yes.
Or like in the future, so I can see what happens to the value of Bitcoin or something, and then I would just know.
It's got to be something in the past.
Oh, in the past. Okay.
It did say in history, and the future isn't history, so not yet.
Can you only watch, or can you interact in any sort of way?
You could only
Is it
watch.
like on a TV?
The future
Like
is
a TV.
tomorrow. The future is tomorrow's history, and it always will be.
Someone throw something at
True.
Jen. Santi says the Romans. Doorknobhead says the present.
The Romans is like 1,500 years worth of time. That's a long time to watch something for.
You push the
Fast
fast
forward.
forward button. Watch the
With or
whole
without
thing.
commercials.
I was imagining, but I couldn't come up with a creative name for it, of you having a nice set-top box with a couple of hundred channels all through your period.
Yeah, they tried to do that. It was called the History Channel. Ended up just being aliens.
Yeah.
Spooky said January the 6th.
Every January the 6th has ever been.
I think you meant last January the 6th.
Oh.
Okay, I just want to get this straight. So the correct question is which period, not whose.
I know. I've
Yeah,
got an answer. A
already
serious
said
answer
that.
to this,
Katie,
which
go on.
is I want to watch when Pantera were touring because I never saw them live, and I just really want to see them live. So
200 different channels of them tour of them in different venues.
yeah, well, I've watched enough on YouTube, so but it'll be different. Like I'm presuming this is better than just watching a YouTube video. So.
Yeah, we're thinking a very we're thinking big screen and
A really big screen.
Almost like
Wow.
you're in it, but no one can see you and you can't interact.
The,
So like in a VR.
So I can't do
VR.
mosh pit. No, well then.
the town I grew up in used to have concerts, and Pantera played there. Pantera and Skid Row, and after that show, they never had concerts there again. It was so crazy. It was that was back in like the 90s.
Is that the one where what's the guy from Skid Row called? Is that the one where he got arrested for fighting the crowd? Because there was some show where that happened. Where it's like
No,
And
I know that Axl Rose, when he was down there, he got arrested for fighting, and he got banned from visiting St. Louis ever again. But
Oh wow.
twat.
wait there. Jeff says, ask Katie if that's before or after Phil Anselmo started
Anselmo.
doing Nazi salutes.
I don't think there was a time when Phil Anselmo wasn't a massive racist, but there was a time when we didn't know he was a massive racist.
well, they
So-
all had Confederate flags and stuff, though. So I mean,
Yeah, I like to listen to the music and see the live energy, and then pretend that they don't exist as people outside of that. Yeah, he's
Pure objectification of the band.
yeah, exactly. I just want to objectify
So,
them.
so you do the same thing that most people do with J.K. Rowling. We like to pretend that the books are okay and the movies were pretty good, but the person who wrote them doesn't exist.
Yeah, apart from Harry
Apart from
Potter's
the
not
book-
good. So.
The books
Yeah.
weren't that good.
Well, yeah, the world building's good. The story leaves a lot to be desired.
It's good fun. I think anyone should be able to enjoy it.
I am
And it's the
so
same with, like,
pleased
most
that I
metal
never
bands.
read any of her crap. It's just, I feel so justified.
It's just justified. Did you have any intention of reading her crap though?
I kind of thought maybe I should, since so many people talk about it, but I held off long enough to find out that I was right. You were wrong.
You just didn't
One of the
care.
most recent ones of these for me is the guitarist from Iced Earth, which is a really good metal band, was in the insurrection on Capitol Hill the other day. Which was, I mean, we already knew that he was a bit of a knobhead, but still.
Are they English?
That's what.
No, American. He's like a
Oh,
proper,
okay.
like,
It's
over-the-top
where you have
American.
to separate the art from the artist. I mean, because
If
there's
you
been
can.
lots of lots of creative people throughout histories who have been absolute bastards who made nice stuff. So you can separate. There's a certain degree of separation you can have between the craft and the crafter, and you have to have that, or else we'd be burning books all the time.
But then
otherwise.
saying that, like I've talked about this with people, and then like the classic example is like, oh, you know, can you still listen to Iced Earth after he was a terrorist? And everyone's like, yeah, I guess so. And then you're like, can you still like look me in the eye and tell me you can still listen to Lost Prophets? Because I don't think most people can. He's the guy who got arrested for trying to rape a baby, by the way.
The question is there racism or paedophilia or whatever one you want to pick? Was that important to making the music? Was that part of their personality important to the art?
This makes me think about is I don't know if y'all ever watched the Jeepers Creepers movies. They're really good horror movies, but the director of them, Victor Salva, he's the one who like molested all these kids in different movies that he was making, and it kind of ruins the movie for you.
Yeah,
that element of it ruins it for you, but I still wouldn't go and destroy the movies. I wouldn't go and we're gonna go to Hitler. I wouldn't destroy. I wouldn't burn all the copies of Mein Kampf just because Hitler wrote it, and it's the same thing.
But that's a bit different because that's literally a terrible ideology which people can learn from today. So like, there's difference between that and destroying art. Like Mein Kampf isn't. I mean, it's technically.
Well, what about his paintings?
It's not actually art, is it? Whereas something like Wagner, who wrote his like operas and stuff in it from like a Nazi theme, like you can take the art out of that much easier than you can take the art out of Mein Kampf, which it's just like
that's true. But I think the point still stands. I mean, an example of that, and it's one I often get to, because Rolf Harris was born in the city I live in. Now, Rolf Harris is a disgusting pervert, and he deserves the sentencing he got. Having said that, when he first was arrested, before he was convicted, there was a there was a hardware store, Gordon Bennett, I can't remember the name of the suburb, where he was born, where when he was still a student in Perth, he painted a mural on their wall, and they kept it there because he'd done it and it was interesting. It was really, really good bit of art. As soon as he was arrested, they painted over it. And my point is, you could have covered that without painting over it.
This is like the
didn't want it to display
statue thing, though, because like there could be kids in that area who like are affected by him or by other sexual abusers who have had to see this every single day. Like the best thing to do would probably be to take it off the wall somehow and preserve it in a museum.
I agree.
Having it publicly is like, I understand.
No, I agree, and I don't disagree that they could have covered it without painting over it. Is my point is that we're destroying artwork because of a thing, and the guy's not even convicted yet. It's that I do understand why they did it. I just don't think it's necessarily the right reaction to have to someone who's problematic or has done something bad. Do we take that thing that we should edit out our history because somebody did something particularly bad?
The governing body that does the arresting and stuff is oftentimes wrong. I grew up in the city, Milwaukee, that arrested George Carlin for saying the 7 words you can't say on TV, or apparently in Milwaukee.
See, in my opinion,
Project Cherry was fairly good with what it did, though. So
with the Rolf Harris thing, it should come down. It shouldn't be destroyed, but it should come down for a period of time that any victims would be alive.
Yeah, I agree.
It also represents other victims, like in the future, I think, though, because like you could be like, oh, 100 years ago, did you know this was a child abuser? Like, oh god, that happened to me. It's horrible. So
yeah, you can't. You still can't carry pictures of Adolf around in Germany. I understand.
There's a reason for that.
Talking of the Rolf Harris thing, has anyone else encountered the gender critical person on Twitter who is all in on gender critical stuff, and also their main focus of their account, as well as harassing trans people, is defending Rolf Harris? No. It's so funny when they come into my mentions. I've had them several times. They come in and they're like, you're a trans person, so you hate children. I'm here to safeguard children. And then you click on their account and it's like, Rolf Harris is a good man. He should be freed. I'm like, mate, How is this your life?
Godless Scummer
wow.
super chatted £2. Well,
The
Godless
stupid
Scummer.
writes itself, doesn't it? That with
Shush!
them, it's just unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Godless Scummer super chatted £2. Rolf should have been jailed just for his music.
No, the Court of
I
King
agree.
Caracas isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
two words.
In answer to the question, you actually brought up a good point, Katie, with the Jesus thing. Even if no one believed me, I would be interested just to prove to myself whether Jesus existed or was a myth. And if it turned out he was a myth, which is the way I actually lean towards, at least I'd get to experience the Roman period that was there at the same time. So,
But I've got
Can I go back to before the Big Bang and see how it all started?
Yes, go on, Katie.
Before the Big Bang is nonsensical.
Yeah, but if
I
you're there
realized
for,
that I was being a smartass.
if you're there for the Big Bang, what's the likelihood that you're going to be taken out with it?
You're
So
viewing.
you're not there for it; you're just viewing it.
Go on,
So
Katie.
say you go back in time and you see the fact on your little TV, and you pick Jesus or whatever religion, and it's true, and you watch Jesus do all of these miracles, and then you come back and you I mean, even if you wouldn't want to necessarily worship God because God's a piece of shit, you would still know for a fact that Jesus was actually the Son of God and did have the powers and did die for your sins and stuff. Imagine trying to tell that to people. What's the difference between you and someone who just believes that they've been abducted by aliens? Because
Nothing
your
at all.
experience is still just an experience.
Just
It's still
yours,
an anecdote.
yeah.
And you would go mad because you would believe it. And you wouldn't just believe it, you would know it for a fact.
Yeah, and you'd have to try and tell the churches the bits they got wrong.
Maybe
would
it's
still
all
be
right.
making leaps
that's
in
what I
logic.
would do. I would try and figure out why God was such a monster in the Bible.
Well, you'd be making leaps in logic to assume that even watching Jesus through his whole life and everything in the Bible, that's in the Bible about Jesus being real, you'd still be making a leap in logic to assume that meant he was literally the Son of God, not just telling people that there could be more behind it.
And even if he did magic, maybe he wasn't a human; he was an alien.
yeah,
God was a
With special
prick because-
abilities.
God was a prick because they had
Well,
terrible
I'd
parents.
I'd want the period of time to be just prior to his birth, so I'd want to witness this immaculate
Angels.
conception.
Okay, so you're basically
So
wanting
Sammy
to
wants
see a
it for
ghost fuck Mary.
Sammy wants it for the porn.
immaculate conception. Isn't that just a mistranslation though? Wasn't it just, didn't the word originally mean just young
Yes.
Young maiden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean she was a virgin. So
I mean, it's catch from the chat.
If you take the cues from John, Jesus is anointed as the Son of God, not born the Son of God. So that's
So
the whole
possessed.
point of being
Possession.
baptized in the river.
Son of God, cousin of God, third cousin of God,
Yeah.
aunt of God.
Yeah. Right, Jeff says, I go...
I'm going to
go
start
to-
introducing myself as that. Stephen Montgomerie, third cousin of God, actually.
Third cousin of God, twice removed.
You could be Jesus's big sister.
Yeah.
Little sister.
I
younger.
think Jesus died. She's at least 2,000 years old.
She'd
Boy,
still be younger.
you really look good for your age.
The 2000. Jeff says, I go to Circus Maximus to study the role of lions in early Christianity.
Tasty.
Oh dear.
Nathaniel says, the week heading up to the end of the Cretaceous, including the asteroid entry and impact.
Oh, now that'd be cool to see. Yeah.
that was like a peak time to see the archosaurs. All of them were just massive at that time. The pterosaurs, the crocodilians, the dinosaurs, they were just huge at the end of the Cretaceous. You'd see some awesome animals.
Would you be able to be there and have a helicopter or something? Or?
It's
'Cause I don't think
VR.
you'd
You're
run
just
away, but-
experiencing it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that going on Twitter now, Katie?
You brought the arthropods back. Thank you.
So I didn't realize I'd set the hotkeys up for my little OBS thing, so I was probably jumping around.
Yeah,
Had you
that's
no
all right.
Yeah, you had your turf war background up there for a second.
Well,
With cereal.
everyone.
Yeah, and the mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turf Wars is good, though.
Katie's crabs.
Yeah, I love the turf wars. Keep doing that because it's fun to watch.
I
Oh,
have
good,
been
thank
I
you.
have been wanting to speak to you about that mayonnaise thing, by the way.
I really enjoyed hitting the mayonnaise with a hammer. It was such a fun, satisfying. I'm going to try and destroy one for every. Ugh. I'm going to try and destroy one for every video I make.
For every video you make.
What, burn? Can you burn mayonnaise? Is it good enough?
Let's find out. Will it blend? I don't know.
Low torture mayonnaise.
Well, I would think it's got an awful high oil content, and
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
You got a
It should
torch?
burn.
You could probably torch it.
well, okay, let's give it a try.
Hang on, is this educational?
We're going.
Yeah.
We're going
It
full
really
Beavis
isn't.
and Butthead.
No.
Well, this
The
is
plastic's
stupid.
not going to
My lighter-
burn.
My lighter's out.
Dog says the Camberwick Green period. The Rage says easy. I would stay in America before European came and give the natives their lost history back.
You can't interact.
No, but he could give it back now.
Shame.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah.
I'm so far behind in the chat. So.
Let's see. What years did you guys have that plague?
Which one?
2020.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking
1918.
the black
Still
one.
in it.
Oh,
The
Black
black
Death.
one.
1600.
1600s. I'd like to go
Yep.
back to London in the 1600s because I would love to see.
Could see the Great Fire of London. Was that 1666 or something?
Okay, well that'd be interesting too. But I'd just like to see a bunch of people from London crapping on their streets.
You can do that on a Saturday evening at 4 a.m. Like, anyway. I think I've weed in a street in London. So, like, what British person hasn't weed?
I was going to say, who hasn't?
They just come on.
Oh,
If you haven't
okay,
weed in a street
okay.
in London, you haven't been out.
You Brits are disgusting.
I would bet Queen Elizabeth has never done that. Margaret, I'm not sure about, but the Queen.
You
Philip
think
probably has.
she was a teenager once?
Well, and she was there in World War II. That's that's possible, I
And she
suppose.
peed in the streets.
She must have.
Yeah, she must have done. I mean, I don't think she's done it in a
was
while, but
told
saying that, neither
the,
have I.
I was always told it was the French were fond of public urination.
It's
No,
not
no,
that
that's-
we're.
yeah, you know.
Wait.
The Trump,
You-
not the
you're
French,
misunderstanding
the
here. It's not that we're necessarily fond of it. It's just when you're pissed and you need to go for a piss, there aren't many places to go.
Nope.
Don't you have
Oh, yeah,
public
I mean,
toilets, or are they all? Oh, you have to pay for them, don't you?
All the
Yeah,
ones in
more than
London.
Paris
20
does.
I'm
I think-
Australian,
Yeah.
so even the women.
Yeah, literally
Spending
spending a
our
penny is spending a penny in the UK. You have to pay to go to the public loos. It's ridiculous.
I think they tried it in America, and pay toilets were decided to be unconstitutional.
Really?
Yeah, we don't have pay ones either. So
Is it in any
you just go
liberal
in and
right?
use them.
All our loos, all the loos here, Wirral, went pay. All public loos went pay 30p last summer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you're trying to find 30p to have a pee, might be difficult. So I
don't know if
understand why you
Bristol
do it,
even has
but
them. I think Bristol's got rid of them all. There were some in some parks, and they just closed them down.
I remember you had to pay for the ones that were the ones that were stood up ones. But there was only a couple of them around Bristol when I was there.
Dunno. Just go and web
Yeah.
stream.
Be able to just like tap your Opal card or something.
Well, they're all contactless
Your
now.
credit card.
So
still, that's crazy.
Well, what the hell was the
I
question?
can only
Oh!
think of one
You
toilet.
shouldn't have to pay.
There is one toilet. It's in a train station in Perth that you actually have to pay to go and use. I was most put out when I discovered it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'll go find another one. There's one stop.
I'll use it, but I'm not coming out for an hour.
One time,
Do I get a block of chocolate afterwards just because I used it or something? You know, are you going to make it worth my while?
A warm towel, please.
one
Warm
time
towel,
we
yeah.
were in the Netherlands with my family, And in lots of those places, they had like someone, like a toilet guard, who would sit there, and you have to give them like 30 cents or whatever to go in. And so we went to the toilets and like went in our separate toilets. And then my dad like waited with the bikes and stuff, and he went in last. And he didn't have any money, so my mum just gave him like just 30 cents he needed to go in. But he went in, and he went in like the exit, and he just put the money into the basket, and the person wasn't paying attention. So then when he came out, the person thought he was trying to come in, and they like stopped him and tried to get money off him. But they were speaking Dutch, so he had no idea what was going on, and he didn't have any money. So then they started causing a scene, and there was all this big queue of people. We like looked over, and my dad was like arguing with this person in Dutch. I'm like, oh, God's sake.
Do you think it's because you have to pay for it? You have to pay for it in the toilet. Jeevers, can I phrase that any better? Do you think it's because you have to pay to use the toilet that TERFs care about that so much in the UK?
No,
it's just all bullshit.
it's basically public service.
It is all bullshit. I know.
No, I don't know. I haven't paid for a toilet. Because you just go in a pub. Like, pubs are usually open, and when the pubs are closed, means you can wait on the street. I mean, that's just like the rules.
That's the rules. If the pubs are closed, you pee in the street.
But if the
there is no way. There is no way I could imagine squatting in a street. No.
See, but really, you've never weed in the street? Are you serious?
You're Australian. How have you never weed in the street?
I have never weed in the street.
I have never. I mean, even before surgery, I never weed in the street.
I have after surgery, and like it's only been a year, and it's been locked down the whole time.
But to be fair, the pubs have been more likely to be closed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's 3 times I was wrong, because there's when the pubs are open, you go in the pubs, and when the pubs are closed, you go in the street. Apart from when shopping centres are open, and they usually have free toilets. So,
I have never ever weed on the street. That would be just so. I just not emotionally.
I know all of the places to go in Bristol to be on the street.
Oh, I'm sure there's places that you could get privacy, but just I would be so frightened and so.
What happens when
all these old tapes of morality would just pound through my head and make me crazy for a week? Yeah.
But what happens?
Yeah, maybe it's our age, Jen.
You've been drinking in the pub, and you're like 8 drinks in, and it's 4 a.m., and then the pub closes, and your mate's like, let's get some more drinks. And then you go and sit in the harbour side, and then you're like, oh my God, I am about to explode. Then you need to know where to go, don't you? You need to know that one of the security cameras in this hotel right next to the harbour side is pointing across, so they can't see you if you wee right underneath it. Under the bush.
I don't.
Pro tip for any Bristolians.
But you see, where I grew up, that once the pubs closed, everybody went to one of the nightclubs, and the nightclubs were open till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And after that, if you were still out drinking, the taxi rank had public toilets that were open all night, and there were several other public toilets in this area that were open all night, so you could just go and use them.
What time?
Katie, I had the swipe card to the Regis building next to the fountains. That's where we went.
Exactly. I think every British person knows the nearest place to them where they can wee in the street all the time.
It blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind.
Can I just ask a question here? What has this got to do with any time periods in history?
I don't even know how we got into this, but hey, it's been interesting conversation.
I started it. I assumed that it was only in ancient days that Londoners would have been caught dead pissing or shitting on the streets.
That's right.
And it turns out it's just common practice.
I wouldn't have a shit on the street. I'd piss on the street, but I wouldn't have a shit.
No, I
didn't have to spend all that money on toilets and stuff.
Two of my friends who assist women who have pooed in the street. So.
Oh, okay. You just got worse.
I'm not going to name them.
You're not going to name them.
I've pissed on the ground when I'm camping.
Do you know what? Wait. Do you know what? I think I'm going to move to the next question. Skip the end of this question because it's relevant. It's relevant.
So the period in history is anyone where people aren't pissing in the street.
There is no period of history that wasn't going on. If there were people, they were pissing in the street.
You can go back before there were people, though. Those are the best times.
Yeah.
There was something pissing in the street.
There were people.
Yeah, but then technically there's no streets, so does that really count? because then they
What about
couldn't-
ancient aliens, though? They made civilizations.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, they didn't pee in the streets. They had it teleported out of them like in Star Trek.
Or
No,
like
they
in
just didn't care.
Harry Potter.
And deer and stuff take the same route.
Picard to engineering, 1 P to teleport out. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
Animals create their own pathways because they move through the forest in their same places over and over and over.
Effectively
Badgers do
streets.
that.
Game trails.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of American streets are set up based on deer trails.
Right, next question. Just for 2 seconds. Question 1397. What do your friends or loved ones tell you is your strangest quirk?
Oh, where to start?
You're assuming we have friends.
Yeah.
Which might include loved ones.
I guess now would be the time for you guys to tell me.
You let your food sit on the microwave on the microphone. Microwave?
Oh.
Apparently, Will says I snore in tonally, so I swap between a couple of different tones, and he reckons it's really peaceful. And it's the nicest thing I've ever had anybody say about my snoring, because normally it's when I'm drunk and I snore really loudly, and people go, "Will you just shut the fuck up?" But he goes, "No, when you're not, when you're just normally sleeping, it's nice and soothing because it goes between a couple of tones."
Snoring the Intel theme, like do 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 do.
That'd be cool.
You snore in C minor?
My weirdest trait. I don't know. I like making lists of things and graphs and stuff. I've always just imagining graphing everything. I've got a list of all the bands I've ever seen live. I've done like a top 10 of every single year back to 1997. I'm still going back in time of best metal albums released every year and made a collage and put a list of it. And
Collage.
all the songs that I've listened to by using Last.fm, and I've got loads of graphs of it all. I don't know. I just like graphs.
That is a bit quirky.
That's a math thing, though.
Yeah. Well, it's just sometimes interesting.
That's your engineering degree coming out.
I always think that my ideal heaven would be just like when you die, you just get to see all the statistics from your life, and you could look up things like how many times did my teeth touch each other, or how many times
God.
did I switch on a light switch, and the
How many
bulb-
times did you pee in the street?
Yeah, how many times? Like you can see it plotted over time, and you could be like, well, you used to waste in the street loads when you were like potty training and your parents were cycling, and then you went for a phase where you didn't because you were all awkward about it, and then you got into alcohol, and then you just did it all the time.
You see a spike when you get to drink.
You know,
Yes.
I always thought that you were a fascinating person, Casey. But Katie, but that's real. I'm feeling really different right now. It's,
I'll tell you what, interesting fact about me then. I never in my entire life weed in a school, ever.
Never.
Because
Wow.
oh,
Because
see
I'm
now
really
that
worried about the
I've
toilet.
done.
So I never weed in the school, but I weed in the
Was
street.
that a pre-transition thing because you were uncomfortable with it?
Well, I guess so. It was just when I was a kid. I remember when I got to like year 8 or something, which is secondary school, when you're like 15 or 14, and realizing, oh, I've never weed in the school, because obviously, like, why would I can't believe anyone used the toilets at school. You'd have to go in like with the boys and but then I was like, oh well, now I've got to keep this going. So and I kept going, and I had a few like bad, like when you get into school and you sit down at 9 a.m. and like, oh, I need a wee.
Is this where you learned to be in the street?
I avoided it as much as I possibly could,
Yeah,
but it
literally
wasn't
never
always
went. I
possible.
went to the toilet one time when my friend sneezed blood on my leg, and I had to wipe it off, and then I got out as soon as I could.
Yeah, definitely.
I would go into wee, but if someone else is in there, there's no chance that I could ever go. How bad I had to go.
Doorknob says peeing in the street.
Oh, I've got another weird thing. So, like I had for a long time in my life, and I guess still, I genuinely had like a phobia of being a Victorian. Like not of Victorians, but like being one. Because I used to have these nightmares, recurring nightmares, where I would be like a milkmaid or a chimney sweep or something, and the whole nightmare was like, I'm a Victorian, I need to kill myself. And then there'll always be these things that got in the way, like, where do you think you're like, I'll be about to jump off the roof, and they're like, you haven't finished cleaning a chimney yet, mate. And I'm like, no. And then they wake up. And it just was so recurring that it used to make me shiver. And then someone would be like, oh, we're doing a fun, like, do you want to come to my birthday party? It's going to be Victorian dress themed. I'm like, oh God, no. Like, oh, it just makes you feel horrible.
I can't do that.
Andrea says not all hashtag not all Victorians.
All Victorian.
Having said that, Katie, I'm sure you'd make an adorable milkmaid.
Well, as long as it's from a time that isn't in the Victorian era.
Victorian era?
Edwardian milkmaid.
And that's,
Somebody's going to
that's
screen grab that.
I'm definitely cutting that one out.
Double fisting it.
Jess says, I make faces when I'm thinking. I give people accidental dirty looks. They're all complaining that they've got no friends. Never Again says, oh, I know, I'm too loud. I'm very quiet around people I don't know in person. Everyone talks about it, and I don't know why. Once I know you, I don't shut up. I can't imagine the rage being quiet.
What is this for a different question than I think we're on? Or
No.
I know your answer anyway, Jen. Can I answer for Jenny?
Sure.
Sniffing bike seats.
So you don't know about the licking, then, do you?
Your friends and loved ones don't.
I've thought of another one for me.
Go on.
So I think that sandwiches should be free of all slime. So not just mayonnaise, but no margarine, no butter, no sauce. Sandwiches should be dry and they should struggle to swallow them. And it should be like bread, cheese, crisps, bread, and that's it. And it's super
A, you're weird, and B,
I need
cheese does not
mustard.
belong on sandwiches.
Cheese definitely belongs on sandwiches.
Cheese is
I'm
evil.
not interested in being in
Cheese.
the group chat anymore. Like,
You put crisps in sandwiches.
of course, you
Yeah.
put crisps in sandwiches.
Crisp sandwiches are lovely.
Sandwiches.
I
do too.
am with. I don't like condiments in my sandwiches if the bread's fresh, but I will margarine the bread if it's gone stale because not as keen on stale bread.
No,
Yeah,
stale
I
bread's
don't
good.
like eating. Yeah,
No.
Crisps.
But a crisp
have you never
sandwich
had-
with margarine is lovely.
No margarine, but bread crisps bread is a quality sandwich.
I put crisps on bread as well. It's
Yeah.
I've never tried a crisp sandwich.
It's
Wait, you
seasoning and
haven't lived.
texture all in one.
No.
One time I was at this music festival when it's like a big international one, and we ended up camping with these Germans, and they were like, the first morning we woke up, they're like, oh, we're going to take you for a traditional like German festival breakfast. We know this place, it's like a German place, and we went there and they had like these sausages and like loads of stuff going on, and we had like schnapps with it, and it was like a really good breakfast. And so the next morning we're like, right, we're going to treat you to a traditional English breakfast. So we went to the supermarket and we bought like a French stick and then 5 different flavors of crisps and just put it in. And we just gave it to them, and they were like, what the fuck is this? And we're like, you've got to eat all of it, and you're not allowed to have a drink until you're finished.
It's just cruel.
And it was
Oh,
not
that is really.
What do you put on a hot dog?
nothing. Well, onions maybe, bread, hot dog.
You don't put tomato sauce in there
Why would you?
What do you consider a hot dog? Something
or
out of like
mustard.
a
I
grocery
don't like
store
mustard.
in a,
Though.
in a
Mustard.
pre-sealed thing, or something that's actually.
Are you
handmade
trying
in
to
a
start
deli?
the sandwich debate?
No.
Is
no,
a hot dog a
there's-
sandwich? Oh,
production hot dogs are awful. Handmade sausage counter ones are good. It's-
Aunt
I
Joe says
actually
Katie
prefer
is
making
a
hot dogs
sadist.
with actual proper pork sandwiches, sausage
Yes.
sandwiches. So a pork sausage in a slice of bread, usually with a bit of tomato sauce with it, because I do like tomato sauce. Rather than an actual bun, an actual slice of bread, I'd rather
I
have
like
that.
buns. Aunt Joe says Katie is a sadist. She wants people to choke on sandwiches.
no comment.
Barman.
Not just on sandwiches. It's kind of fun to just watch people choke.
Oh, fucking hell.
I'd be safe. I don't have a gag reflex, so.
Interesting.
Oh, that's another quirky thing about me. I don't have a gag reflex, but I think everybody here already knew that, except maybe Katie.
I did not.
Because you,
Glad to
because
be
you-
indoctrinated into your world.
she keeps demonstrating it on stream.
I have demonstrated it
you're
on
naked.
streams.
No, not
Sorry?
naked.
No.
She has. Do it again. Do it again.
Really? You want me to do it? I don't think Dave wants me to on this stream.
No,
I don't mind.
No.
I have gotten this thing out and demonstrated.
Well,
You could probably make money doing that. Just saying.
Well,
Yeah.
of course you could.
What's question 1397?
Barman.
Oh God, quirky. I don't know. Normally, if I'm that quirky, they just don't talk to me again. So there's that. No, I don't think everyone who's any said to me, "You're weird doing that." So I think most people just
That's a
take my
bad sign.
weirdness.
That
and-
means you're so weird that no one wants to tell you. They're all like, "Oh God."
Or they're just all
a bad
afraid of
thing or
you.
a good thing. Yeah, there is that as well. I can get very animated and chatty when drunk, but then I suppose everyone does.
But then
Oh
you
no, I've
drink
seen
at
why
work.
I'm
bad
normally
drunks as
drunk.
well, and
I was
violent
gonna say,
drunks.
you drink at
So.
work.
I'm not violent. I'm too lazy to be violent.
I'm working on the wrong question. What is the question?
What do your friends or loved ones tell you is your strangest quirk?
Oh,
Yours is sniffing bike
okay,
seats.
Okay, yeah, well, apparently it is. Although I would consider the licking to be a little odder.
Brian, is yours actually collecting bugs?
Probably. What I'm doing right now is probably up there on the list.
Playing with the
So cute, though.
mantis.
I just love it.
Yeah.
It's so adorable, though.
It can't be too bad. We'll see both
Yeah.
their hands.
It reminds me of Grogu.
Yeah. I could see that. Wants me to hold it.
Now
Sammy.
I want to see a mantis-like alien on Star Wars that's a Jedi.
That'd be cool.
I
Sammy.
don't think my family know of any of my quirks, and I don't think any of them could probably be mentioned.
Your
on
wife
the live
does.
stream anyway.
Loved ones, though. Loved
You
ones.
include your
no.
wife and your kids.
Yeah, still probably not any I want to mention on here, but
Are you
Is that
not
the only
completely
thing I can
honest with
think
your
of?
other half?
I don't. Oh no, no, of course not.
I hope she watches this.
I do have. It's probably a compulsion more than a tick more than a quirk, but I've always done that. I don't know if you've ever seen when Joe Cocker sings. He does this thing with his fingers. Hang on, I'll put the camera on.
Oh yeah.
This thing.
Yeah. hmm
I do
And
that sometimes.
But I do it to the syllables of whatever the person speaking to me is saying. So if you're talking like this, I'm doing the same thing as you are.
Oh wow!
And it got so bad that I had to really force myself and work on not doing it. So I don't do it anymore, but every now and then I'll sort of catch myself starting to do it again. So that's pretty fucking weird.
Yeah. It's not terrible.
Katie, where are you disappearing to under that desk?
Oh, Poppy's just here, so I was just.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
She's playing with her pussy.
Just off camera.
To play with
Just
her
off-
pussy.
Just off camera.
Yeah,
Ryan.
just off camera.
You just need to tilt the camera down a little. Sorry. That's too forward. At least I didn't tell you I wanted to share. I would be happy to share crabs with you anytime. At least I didn't go that far.
Ryan!
You have now.
I could have.
Sammy's like that. Don't worry. He's he flirts with everyone. Absolutely everyone.
Oh, and I thought it was special.
You are special, Katie, but he does flirt with everyone.
Sammy, you've never flirted with me, Thanks.
I have, so.
Yeah, he has so, Jenny.
I suggested you should make fortune cookies.
Well, okay, but that is true.
That's a kind of flirting.
Brian,
I'm
what's your
still
weirdest
thinking
quirk?
about it, by the way.
You're still thinking about it. Brian,
What's up?
what's your weirdest
I think it
quirk?
was bugs, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's
I
what you
already
said.
answered. You have to answer now, Dave. It's your
I'm
turn.
perfect. I have no quirks.
You bounce on a ball and you
Bounces
sometimes
on a
pop it.
ball.
That's not what I normally
He has
do.
has a goldfish memory. What What else could we say?
See, I'm perfect.
Dave,
I don't remember anything.
Dave's favorite snack food is cheese-covered spiders.
Yeah, the cheese thing. What about that?
The
That's
cheese
weird,
thing, people
dude.
find that
That's
a
a
bit weird.
weird thing.
Cheese is vile.
He's
I
a
just-
floating
Jesus,
head.
lovely.
Cheese
Yeah.
is horrible.
That would be really cool. I wonder if anybody makes cheesy spiders that we could buy a packet of and send to Dave.
Well, actually, in lots of East Asia, they sell like things like spiders and crabs in like bags, like crisps. In Japan, you can buy like a bag just like crisps of different flavors, like prawn cocktail or whatever, but
Yeah, but
just
you-
whole crabs, like
you
with the
get
claws
these-
and everything.
You get in East Asia though, then you lose the cheese. There's like so
Yeah,
you
that's
have to
true.
trade
They
your
do have
spider.
cheese flavor. It's not real cheese.
So we need
It's
to
not
get some
Excuse me.
cheesy
Wait.
spiders that aren't on the rare list, on the endangered list, and have them sent to Dave.
in Malaysia.
I'm
I saw,
fine
like,
with
on
no
the
cheese
market,
or no
people
spiders being
like
sent.
fried spiders.
Or,
You could just get like pick a mix. You could pick different fried spiders to get in a little bag.
and they're
wow.
quite crunchy, aren't they?
I didn't
So
eat. I didn't.
maybe-
I chickened out. I didn't eat one.
We should send
Spiders
Dave
are
an
evil.
ASMR video. Someone eating.
Spider crunchy ASMR.
Right, last
You
question.
could just deep fry them, Jen.
Yeah.
Like that one YouTube video where the guy hits the spider on the floor and all the babies come rocketing off of it.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
cool.
I've got a good
actually
spider story, but I'll save it for another show.
Good.
Last question.
Right.
Brian
Question.
looked like he wanted to say something.
Oh no, I was just talking. We're going to say about the spiders on the right in the back. I had one earlier this spring that had babies on its back, but before it had its babies on its back, it carried the ball of eggs around behind it. It's a wolf spider. That's what they do. So since it was sitting on a ball at the time, I named it Dave.
Oh, that's good.
Dave the mummy spider,
Yeah.
who got eaten by her own brood shortly afterwards.
Hey, praying mantis versus a like an American funnel spider. Who's going to win?
Probably the
An
spider.
American funnel spider. Where in the spider? They don't usually come out of their webs, and the mantis goes into the web. It's going to get stuck.
Mm.
So
Well, at the edge, then let's say.
yeah.
There's an amazing video. I was just thinking of venomous
Ow.
insects versus non-venomous ones. There's an amazing video of this praying mantis which catches 2 wasps. So it's got one in each hand, and it's eating the head of one of them, and then the one in the other hand stings it in the head, and it's a big sting. So it just gets like paralyzed and just like collapses, and you think it's dead. And then like an hour or so later, it just recovers and just gets up and carries on eating the head of the wasp.
Oh, cool.
The stingers of Hymenoptera were actually they're evolved from the ovipositor, the egg,
Yeah, right.
the egg laying, there's
Just
more,
female ones of them.
more primitive members of the wasp family, which includes bees and ants. They actually started off stinging because they were implanting their eggs into a host for the eggs hatch and they eat the host. That you see it with like tarantula hawks and stuff, but most of them target softer body organisms like caterpillars or beetle larvae. And the venom is even now even the ones that don't lay their eggs like that anymore. The venom originally started as a paralyzing agent to paralyze those victims so they could lay their eggs in them.
Oh, wow.
That's really
So-
cool.
It sounds
There's some
like
evolution.
This show has been very educational.
I
Can
know.
I just
Sorry,
tell
Dave.
my favorite wasp fact at the moment? It's really quick. Did you know wasps evolved before Saturn, the planet, had rings? Isn't that
Did
cool?
not know
Oh,
that.
wow.
That's cool.
It sounds more like you're describing. You pissed me off. I'm going to get you pregnant.
You stab. Fair enough. Doorknob Head says praying mantis versus a brown bear.
Depends how big the praying mantis is.
And the bear.
Praying mantises can eat hummingbirds. I don't think I've ever seen them eat anything bigger than that, though.
Can they ride a
Yeah.
hummingbird?
How big were the ancient praying mantises? How big did they get when the oxygen levels were higher?
There was no praying mantises back then. Praying mantises have a common ancestor with bladderdae, which is cockroaches and termites, and they didn't diverge until I from the top of my head, I think it was in the mid Jurassic. So they weren't around back then. So mantises right now are probably about as big as they've ever been.
They can get
okay.
big now, though. They can be like this.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
You didn't answer that.
Whereas the cockroach just got incredibly big.
Yeah, there were big cockroaches, or well, that'd be the ancestors of cockroaches.
Ancestors of cockroaches, yeah.
Mantises would have been a common ancestor for all of them that was around during the Carboniferous, before the Permian, would it be? Yeah, before the Permian, we will say, when arthropods were bigger, there were ancestors of cockroaches and mantises around back then that got pretty sizable.
Dave,
Nothing's the dinosaur size, though.
What?
Show's starting to hurt my brain.
I know. Last question.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's do the last question.
I'm hungry.
Question 1398. Would you rather have the power to move 50 grams by telekinesis or the ability to read the mind of any 3-year-old?
Oh, God.
Telekinesis. I don't want to read a 3-year-old's mind.
50 grams, that's like an
That's
ounce and
fairly
3/4 of pot. So
I don't know. I'd like to be able to read the mind of a 3-year-old because you could be the coolest auntie. Because you could be like, guess what? Like, think of something and I'll tell you what you're thinking of, and they'll say something, and then you can be like, oh, you're thinking of Power Rangers, and they'll be like, wow, you're magic, and then you could just like keep that idea that you're magic for their whole life, and like they would always look up to you.
yeah,
Yeah,
but if you do that, you were magic.
Only when they're 3.
Yes.
When they get to 4, and
Yeah,
actually
only
you get
while they're
things wrong.
3.
Yeah, I think
And
the
wouldn't it be
moving
a bit
thing, 'cause then you can
weird
open the
if
door,
every time
open
you
lock-
encountered a parent with a 3-year-old, you go, I know what your kid's thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't
You
do
might
that.
get
though.
arrested.
Yeah, you'd start to get like maybe a creepy reputation if you're always around 3-year-olds.
And
Yeah.
being away. Yeah. I mean, I guess it'd be handy if you worked in daycare.
Also, you said any 3-year-old, does that include dogs? Because that could be really cool.
No.
And what span
Oh.
of 3 at the moment, at the very moment of anniversary of birth, or is it like a range?
Yeah, it could
across
be
the birth
Korean
order?
age, because your Korean age is different to your Western age, because they
That's
start
right.
your age starts at 1 when you're born, and it goes up on a new year rather than on your birthday.
No, it's based on Britain.
Oh.
What if you're born on a
He
week?
always does this. He changes the rules whilst we're playing.
Because
leap
people
years,
try and
but
screw with
that's-
them.
I mean, it's
Period.
20 years. You could think about you could get a
You'd get
12-year-old.
12.
Is it a period of time while you're 3 years old that you can read the mind, like from 2.5 to 3.5?
No, it's
Or
from the
like
day
a
you
week?
turn 3 until the day you turn 4.
Okay, so an entire year of 3-year-olds, huh?
Do 3-year-olds have stuff in their minds to read, says Aunt Jo. Dornopet says,
Yeah.
the 3-year-old whisperer. Jeff says, 50 grams of Colombian marching powder to go up my nose by telekinesis. That would work.
50
Who
grams.
said that?
That's a lot of powder.
Jeff.
Yeah, 3-year-olds are good at, let's see, mommy, potty, eat.
3-year-olds are
Potty.
cleverer than you think. I mean, they're still pretty dumb, but they're cleverer than you think.
Mommy, horsey, pony. I'll go for
Thank
the
you.
Some
grams.
days they're 3.
2 secs. Thank you, Jess, for becoming a supporter. Dog says telekinesis
Yeah.
for sure.
Are we going for mentally 3?
No, we're just going for a 3-year-old. We're not adding in adults.
I think
that
we
are
should
the
change
age-
it to mentally 3-year-olds. Oh,
I mean, if
You
you,
wanna
can
read-
telekinesis
But then we can
things
think
up
we're
to
all
50
flat
grams,
earthers.
surely you'd be able to turn some light switches on and off.
So you can
Yes.
learn to read the minds of most Trump supporters.
Oh! But would you want to, really?
I'll be right,
I kind
I'll
of
be right
would.
back.
I want to make.
Actually, like if you could do more than 150-gram thing at once, that'd be cool because you could like have this like swarm of praying mantises floating around you at all times. That'd be cool.
I think she would have liked the ants with force fields question.
Or you get a whole heap of shurikens made up that only weigh 50 grams, and you can have them around you as weapons.
Also, you could like control things like photons and stuff because they weigh less than 50 grams.
Within 50 grams, you could actually do a small swarm of praying mantises. They only get about 3 3 to 5 grams of the biggest species. So you
Really?
can do a whole swarm of them.
Technically, you could stop someone's heart valves from working.
Ooh, that feels horrible.
How is it, Jen, you managed to turn these questions into murder?
Why wouldn't we go straight for like hornets or something?
Oh yeah, you could
Just using the example that was given to me, hornet's probably about the same weight. But I could teleport around like centipedes and stuff too, so that'd be kind of cool.
yeah.
You could, yeah.
Not teleport, you
move
move them.
Move them, yeah.
Just
Tele-
one big
Not teleport. Teleporting would be cool.
Well, some huntsman spiders seem like they can teleport.
Yeah. They move so fast.
And you wonder why I'm bothered by them. Jen's
They're superior
superpower
to
is
me.
murder.
They get the size of dinner plates here, Dave.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
I don't see why I will never visit Australia. I've been to Aldershot.
Harmless.
I've been to Aldershot, and they have normal hunter spiders that are about 6 times the size of here.
Aldershot.
Yeah, I reckon the military is
Hampshire.
doing something. Yeah, Aldershot. I used to live in Aldershot. And the spiders the normal house spiders that they have are about 6 times the size they are here. Right, they are about the size of my hand.
Was this, you used to live there when you were a child?
Nope,
Were
when
you
I
just
was-
6
when I
times
was-
smaller?
No. I did my placement year at uni in Aldershot. And they're
Go
huge.
to Charles Funneth in Wales, nuclear power plant there. Spiders are huge.
I mean, that's the other thing as well that I don't know. The north-south divide on ants. Ants here are less than about half a centimetre. Ants down south are fucking huge.
You all
You get
have fire ants, do you? Maybe you have.
We get a fire ants.
Yeah. I don't think any of the ones that we have here would survive.
Right.
No,
We
we've
have
just got boring
Yeah,
very
ants.
pencil
many.
only weighs 10 grams, so I could have 5 pencils flying around in the air, and that.
Wow, the possibilities
that'd be-
are limitless. 5 pencils.
The perfect skill for
Yeah,
a vampire
but
hunter.
you can definitely defend yourself with 5 pencils.
Hell yeah. See, how much weight
Especially
do
if
you
I
need
can
to be
move
able to
them.
control to unlock a door?
It depends on the locking
Depends what type
mechanism.
of door it is.
I mean, you've got.
You'd
I
have
mean,
to
a
put-
Yale lock. You've just got to hold pins up, tiny pins up. So
Yeah.
whether
If you
how
were
strong the
so
spring is.
inclined, you could
Of course,
just,
you wouldn't be able to see what you're doing either.
take people's credit cards.
Yes.
That'd be less than 50 grand, surely. If you're that way inclined.
Most glasses weigh less than 50 grams. You could take the glasses off people's face.
They just walk down the
Pull it
street
up.
and people's glasses fly off their face.
You could also
Right.
pull their contact lenses out.
If it's only
That
50
seems
grams,
cruel.
50, just even being just 50 grams at a time, you could be like, you could have different things going at once. You
You
could
could juggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could juggle. So I mean, the 50-gram telekinesis thing is awesome. You get attacked out in the street, you wouldn't even have to reach down to pick up a thing of gravel. You could do it with your mind and throw it at them.
How much does
I'm thinking the defensive capabilities of it.
How much
You
does
could be a superhero with that ability.
Jen, I know you know this. What's the average weight of a Benoit ball?
I don't know it. I even had to look up what the average weight of a HB pencil was, even though I had one here.
Right. So is everyone? Does no one want the 3-year-old?
No.
No.
For anyone just tuning in, we're auctioning off a 3-year-old.
I hear they go well with mushrooms.
Katie only eats them dry.
Don't make some baby back ribs.
Right. Now they're talking about banning pencils.
I
and we
know.
need better
Isn't that
pencil
like one of
controllers.
the most unfortunate name for a food is baby back ribs? Why would you eat those? How do you
Right.
harvest-
Does anyone have anything to shill before we run away?
My show. which is right after this, or exactly after this. I'm doing a stump, Jen. So come over for some good science stuff and have a bit of fun. If I will probably drag a few people in to join me after I get going. So if people want to hop in and share some knowledge and answer questions from the floor, feel free. I should post that into the chat, shouldn't I?
If we're plugging ourselves, then tomorrow at I think 7 p.m. UK time, I'm not sure what that is, I'm going to be on Talk Heathen with Vila Blanca, and it's going to be the first ever ACA show that is all trans people. Cool. Which is exciting. So you can come and
did you get the 1,000 likes?
Not yet. There's still time to turn it into a mud wrestling show, apparently. And then I'm also going to be on Call the Line at 1 a.m. UK time Monday morning.
Nice.
On the same day.
Sounds like fun.
If we're doing shilling, I'm on Agree to Disagree tomorrow doing debating the death penalty. So that's going to be interesting.
Okay.
Oh, that's...
Which side are you on?
You have to come and watch to find out. And I'm going up against AB Science.
Oh.
Cool.
Death penalty is evil.
On Sunday, I do my regular physics lecture. This week it'll be the dimorphism of neutron stars.
Uh-huh.
And
whose channel's that on?
She has a lecture. Didn't you hear her say that? She's doing a lecture at the university.
Or it was going to be on the New York pretzels. Should they be crispier? I forget which one. Or so. Okay, that's very funny. I
know. Sorry, I got distracted because Never Again asked where the thing was. Brainbug.
Well, I stream at it's 1 p.m. Central Time. What's that, like 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. I'm going to probably be doing. So last night I managed to catch Kent Hovind live, and he laid out his 6 kinds of evolution, or 6 definitions of evolution, and I kind of want to go over those because
that's
only one of them is actually evolution, but we're gonna look at it.
That's a lie. Kent Hovind hasn't been alive for years.
It's animatronics now.
Well, he's got Matt Powell wearing the Hawaiian shirts with him now. Did you see that?
Oh my God, can you really? Oh, jeez. Matt Powell, how does a brain get that screwed up that young?
Money. Sammy.
Just dropped the first of what I'm going to call my cult tune series. It basically looking at a cartoon made by Jehovah's Witnesses for children, shaming them, guilt tripping them.
Or is that Caleb and something or other? What's them?
Yeah, Caleb and Sophia.
Yeah.
So this latest one is Jehovah Forgives. So, yeah,
but does he?
Really, really depressed and down on himself, and it's for a pretty severe reason. So, if you haven't seen it, check it out. You'd be surprised what this Caleb's actually done. Terrific.
It is. Right, he was pretty evil. He was nasty kid. Right, all their links are in the description. On Monday, we are on at 6:30 UK, 1:30 EST. We have got Jen, Jenny, Jeff, Godless Sewing, and Godless Granny.
Could be a godless stream.
A very godless stream.
Well.
So on that note, we will say thank you very much for coming to Katie, to Sammy, to Jen, Barman, Jenny, and to Brian. Thank you very much to everyone in the chat. You've been a blast. We will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.